Alright, hey everyone, Wanderbot here, and welcome back to Forager, or welcome to Forager if you somehow found this and not my other videos. I've got like 60 videos out there, and it'd be pretty wild if this is the first one you found, but if that's the case, welcome. So, let's see, first and foremost, I will say go watch those videos. They are very important to this series, because I'm going to be making some very odd decisions, and I'm not going to deviate from them much, and you will see my other playthroughs pop up frequently. So we're going to be doing the single island challenge. I've tried this before. I've got 4 hours in a save file previously, and it worked out well, but I wanted to try again because I learned something. I learned a couple of things going into it, and I figured I'd rather do it properly and refine it, and then maybe I'll put the, not the failed run. The other run did succeed. It just didn't succeed as well. And so, you know, at some point I will sit down and I gotta get those fishing traps up fast. At some point that'll show up on YouTube, probably. Let's see. I'm gonna put these over here. I realize wood is a bit of a premium for me right now, but space is also one. Yeah, in before, why are you buying and then selling right back? Yeah. I got an angry letter earlier today from somebody because I was being sassy, responding to somebody that was demanding that I just make coins, and I was being sassy. I was like, no, that's not good. That doesn't help this build. And they're like, why are you so rude to people? And I'm like, just being sassy. People don't like sass on the internet apparently. It's like a bad thing. Okay, so I have not gotten, well, no, I've absolutely gotten berries here, but not enough. So we're gonna kind of kick around for a little bit as I am out of stamina and I'm not gonna have food for a while. Anyway, so what are the rules of the single island challenge? Pretty basic. I'm not buying a single island this entire time. Now, there are a couple of frustrating caveats to this. First and foremost, one, leveling is going to be a limitation. Resources is going to be a huge limitation. It's very tempting to eat those berries, but I think we're gonna wait. We're gonna want to wait for fish. Anyway, so I can't buy any lands, which has a couple of interesting things that I actually didn't know about before I tried it previously. For one, you can't get leather. Animals only show up on the second or third island. I'm pretty sure it's slimes on the second island, and then leather, like animals on the third. And so, you would think, like, leather, like, who cares? You know, there's a couple of things where leather is useful, but otherwise it's not that big of a deal, right? No. So the linchpin to this build, you'd think, would be markets, because then you can just buy whatever you want. Frustratingly, without leather, you can't make markets. Ugh. Meaning that puts me in a really awkward spot of effectively not being able to gather a whole heck of a lot of resources. Let's see, so we need industry. The other interesting thing is, you might think, in Forager at least, you can expand your land out with landfills. It is something that you can do. Fun fact, the game will not actually spawn resources on islands you have not bought. So, if you scum cheese your way to having more land than you ought to without spending money, it doesn't care. It'll just be like, that's a nice hunk of nothing you got over there. Have fun with it. And then that's it. That is just all that happens. I'm not actually gonna say it's not actually frustrating. It's hardly annoying in the slightest. It's just one of those where it's like, oh, well, I kind of needed that extra land for like hot peppers and stuff. And yeah, so we really do need those markets. What else is there? I'm trying to think of other kind of like details about this challenge that I didn't know about it when I first did it, and that's part of the reason why I want to start over. Let's see. So, anyway, so we've already done the proof of concept. We know that it's a thing that can be done. I just want to do it well. Unfortunately, we do have to spend a whole heck of a lot of time just standing around waiting. If you notice, I'm totally out of stamina, and I don't want to start breaking any of these, because, again, with the single island challenge, there's not a whole lot of food. You don't get fairies until the second, I think it's the second or third island or something like that. And so, for a lot of my runs, those are the first means of getting HP back. you know, you pop a fairy, and it gets you right back. And it gets you right back up to full health. And is it full health? Yeah, it is. And also, I think, full stamina. So yeah, without those, I'm pretty much at the mercy of fish traps to, you know, get me back up to snuff. Eventually, I will be able to cook food, but it's going to take a little while. And one way to get EXP is by getting a bunch of cheap structures and then breaking them. Yes, but frustratingly, I don't have enough stamina for it. So that is my primary money source. But without fish, oh, I actually had a fish sitting around. Whatever. Without enough fish being generated, that is actually a really bad idea, because effectively I'm gonna kill myself trying. Okay, because yeah, I don't think I even had one stone. We're gonna need more. What else is there? I'm probably gonna end up going with mining rods, just because it's a way to automate gaining resources, especially once I get quarries. The other reason why I want to get mining rods is because then I can dedicate all of my limited stamina to... building and breaking furnaces over and over and over and over again. Which is a really weird setup. Right, gotta grab these as often as possible. It's a weird setup, but it actually gets you a decent chunk of EXP for quite a long time. I'm not entirely sure how Forager handles EXP scaling, but it's... it actually scales very slowly in the beginning, so the whole furnace abuse strategy is actually shockingly effective. Especially early on. Okay, so I'm just gonna... we can start mining some of these up. Gold rocks do spawn. I know that was a worry of mine. Gold and coal. And I was worried that I wouldn't be able to get either of those. But they just start spawning, I think, somewhere around when I get the furnace. I should probably actually get the furnace and the forge down. Let's see. Do I remember right the quarry works on build islands? Yes. So the quarry can be placed down on an empty island that you have created with landmass, and it will actually spit out stuff constantly. Which is really nice. Let's see. I'm gonna get a furnace. There we go. There's a level. So what do we get next? Okay, so what do we do now? You know, actually, that is... Ooh. I was wrong. Fairies just show up whenever, so I could actually get fairies right now. I totally forgot magic was what unlocks fairies. I almost never go for this because it's meaningless. So, we got a couple of things I can go for. Cotton spawns more often, you can find beets, you can find wheat. Problem is, I actually don't want beets or wheat yet. I don't actually have enough inventory space. Sowing is hilariously useless right now. You know what? Let's do a little bit of pre-planning here. I have multiple save files that have way more stuff done. So let's actually... This is the proof of concept for the single island challenge. As you can tell, it actually worked. And we can take a look at what it is later. But I wanted to actually see what we've got here. Because I need to go up. Not for textiles. Actually, most of this stuff, now that I'm looking at it, is useless. Sort of. So... We can't do jewelry for a while. There's quite a lot of resources that we need to get jewelry that we won't get until we have markets. There's textiles. What I could do is actually go foraging, woodcutting, mining, prospecting, and deposit. Like, head for these. And then head for optics. Because I don't want economy. Honestly, I don't even want coinage, so maybe what I do is this? Main thing is, I really don't want beets or wheat that much. I guess if we got commerce pretty quickly. Huh. Because I do need automation. I don't need royal steel or royal clothing that fast. Because yeah, I don't need... Well, I do need that. Masonry's okay. Because the most efficient path would be to go here, and then down, go down for the shovel, then go up and over for automation, but we also want a lighthouse. Because gathering is one of the only ways we're going to be able to get inventory space here. Commerce is the only way we can get rid of stuff without wasting it. Getting down to geology in a deposit might not be a bad idea. This is going to take a little while for me to get full use of lighthouses. They're kind of expensive. Yeah, so, okay. Game plan is we're gonna beeline for mining rods. They're a little expensive, but they're worth it. And these sewing and textiles are going to be useless until slightly later. Craftsmanship, unfortunately, also kind of slightly useless until later, but none of these are wasted points. As opposed to stuff like masonry and carpentry, which are kind of nice, but not, like, not absolutely necessary. Woodcutting's okay. Mining is okay. Prospecting and geology are musts. But we gotta wait on that one. Okay, so let's bail on this one, and let's go back. Now we've got the proper game plan. Y'all are on the same page as me. Let's get going. So, let's level up. Let's go up. Unfortunately, sewing is, I mean, arguably actually a wasted level up. At least for a while. Let's see. So how much is this game? Financially, 20 bucks. US dollars. I don't know how much it is in any other currency. I mean, Steam does price matching from what I remember, which is kind of nice. But I've seen oh man, that's a topic. So, obviously, my Forager series has done really well on YouTube compared to a lot of my other series, which actually took me aback by quite a lot, because, yeah, I was expecting this to just be kind of like a, you know, humdrum, maybe get 4,000 or 5,000 views per episode, not like tens of thousands. And it's like, oh, sweet, that's a nice series, actually. But it has attracted a lot of people with, like, opinions, which, you know, usually with indie games, sometimes there will be a person be like, this isn't worth the amount of money, but I've had, like, loads of people show up specifically to say that, like, 20 bucks is too expensive for this game. I think what it actually is there's a lot of people that want the game, but yeah, they don't want to spend 20 bucks for it, which actually I think is quite fair of a price. Let's see. A little bit more. Okay, good. So we're starting to get gold at this point. And it's interesting, you know, people that actually really do want the game, but they're willing to put it down in hopes of somehow making it cheaper. I mean, just wait a couple months. It's gonna be better in, like, by the end of the year, too. Which, honestly, would be a plus. Like, by the time this game goes down to 10 bucks, it's gonna have multiplayer. Actually, I don't know how many of you guys have seen, but they actually have a roadmap for what's coming out, like new biomes and, a retooled endgame and stuff. Which is really exciting for me, I don't know. Because I like this game a lot. And more content is always good. I do agree that the endgame for this is very sparse, hence why we're doing this, actually. Because it's like, I don't know, I love this game. But yeah, once you hit the end, you're kind of like, well, now what? And the answer is, bleh. And so, my solution is to come up with weird limitations, like, straight up, what if we just never buy another island? Or, maybe the next one will be, what if we don't get mining rods? I realize that no mining rods is, like, kind of normal, but, like, can you imagine an entire run where I get every other level up except for mining rods, and I have to do everything by hand? That'll get kind of interesting. Probably skip drones, maybe, too. Do everything by hand. It would be slower, but still. But yeah, I don't know. I am excited, because it's kind of nice to have a sandbox game that I'm actually interested in for once, that's doing rather well. Because, like, I can never get into Minecraft. I think it was a little bit too loosey-goosey for me. And loosey-goosey, aimless? Like, you had goals, but a lot of it was just, like, go down and mine for resources until you had enough diamonds to maybe make a thing, and I don't know, I always just got kind of lost in that. And there was, like, a certain joy of, like, going into the mine to grab resources, because there was that tension, you know, is a creeper gonna pop out of nowhere and blast my butt? Oh, I think he got poisoned by witches. There's some other stuff. I don't know. I never played enough of it to, like, really get into the mechanics. And I think there's a couple of, like, things like Skyblock, for example, that actually are very interesting to me. I think I just prefer to play, like, Skyblock as a separate game entirely, and not a mod, because I think at this point there's kind of this stigma with Minecraft. Stigma and maybe a psychological trap would be the right word. Where, like, there's an expectation when you play Minecraft, you start playing a lot of Minecraft. And for me, like, I don't think I could ever do that. I'd, like, maybe play one round of Skyblock and then be like, well, that was it. Thanks. Bye. So witches and cave spiders can inflict poison. Hit player down to half a heart of HP. Cool. Yeah, I know none of these things. I did, like, a little bit of it, and then I was just like, moving on. Okay, that should be enough for another fishing trap? No, we need one more. Let's see. I'm just gonna space these out as a grid. We'll have just some big fishing area there. I would like to see a no automation run, too. Okay. Yeah, we can do that next time, probably. And that would probably also include, no financial cheats or no financial tricks to buy islands. I would just be trying to buy as many islands as possible. Actually, that would cut down on my steel cost considerably, now that I think about it. But yeah, I'm sure there's a reason why Minecraft is a lot of... Minecraft. Yeah. Minecraft is a lot of fun for people. And I totally understand, like, why. It's just, like, nowadays, I'm afraid that if I did at all well with it, people would be asking for more. I've been eternally afraid of, actually, this series ending to some degree ever since it took off for me. Because I know when I stop Forager, I'm gonna get a lot of people that drop by and are like, hey, when are you gonna play more Forager? And I'm gonna be like, oh no. I had that to a fairly extensive degree with Scrap Mechanic years ago. And while I enjoyed that game thoroughly, the amount of people that were demanding me go back to it got to be very stressful to the point of, I think that actually was the main reason why I stopped. I mean, it absolutely was. And I realized that that's kind of a silly reason to be, to, like, stop a series, but for me it was necessary. So that's actually automation right there. We should probably get some bricks and stuff set up. Well, that's all of our coal. Oh, this is gonna take some time. At least with stuff like Forager, there's kind of a limit to the amount of stuff that you can do, so it's a little easier to say, like, there is nothing else for me to do. Scrap Mechanic and Minecraft and one of those where, like, you could always come up with something kind of new. And to a lesser degree, I guess you can kind of do that with Forager, but most of it is, like, weird, harsh impositions on what I'm doing instead. And I can see that working out well. Maybe. I don't know. Okay, can I get... I want at least one more fish trap. Probably. I'll get one more bridge. Yeah, wood is the limitation here. Mainly because we need it for coal, because coal ain't dropping that fast. Yeah, Terraria will always be better for building than Minecraft. I have a mixed mind on it. On one hand, well, okay. Dragon Quest Builders is my favorite of the, like, dig and build games. Because not only do the structures actually matter in that game, but it also looks really nice. And so I'm really looking forward to Dragon Quest Builders 2 coming out soon. Because that game is fantastic. I've been watching my buddy, Kakujo play Dragon Quest Builders 1 again, and it's actually really tempting for me to do a second run of that game. I realize I shouldn't, because that would be stupid, and I don't have enough time for it, but it is tempting. Alright, so I gotta start burning all of this. We gotta get coal. Let's see. I kind of alluded to this earlier when we started this, but you guys, some of you guys watching this live, and I guess when I put up the prototype footage for this challenge, you'll know I more or less was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be mad easy. We're just gonna go get markets, and then everything's gonna be hunky dory. And I got there, and then yeah, markets needed leather. that was a sad moment. I was sad and kind of mad. There's a lot of things. Let's see. We're running out of stamina. Luckily, it looks like we got some more fish traps popping up there, so that's good. Let's see. Dragon Quest Builders reminds me of Cube World, and my soul becomes filled with sadness. Kinda. Someday we're going to get a proper, not successor. Someday we're gonna get a proper 3D version of Terraria or Starbound, and it'll be amazing. Someday. Hopefully someday soon. See, so what's the point of a mining rod when you only have one island? Once I get quarries, I'm going to need multiple mining rods. Constantly. Also, if you notice, my stamina bar is crap. I have very little stamina here, and it's much easier for me to have a mining rod do most of the gathering for me. Because otherwise, I'm going to be sitting around with minimal stamina the entire time. And I need that stamina bar for things. But yeah, just sit back and watch, and it'll make sense. I know what I'm doing. Okay, so we need 4 coal, 4 iron ingots. Just make all the coal we can. Let's see. So we're actually getting pretty far in. I was expecting this to take longer, but I think we're good. And yeah, I'm not going to eat those berries no matter what, because we're going to need a silly amount of, fish traps. Sort of? I guess not really. Honestly, I think once you hit about, like, 9 fish traps, you're pretty much at a happy equilibrium for stamina, unless you're doing everything yourself. See, I think sand's going to be a huge problem. Actually, no. So by the time we actually need sand, we are more or less going to be set for sand. There's gonna be like a little bit of time where I desperately need way more sand than I currently have. But not anytime soon. Let's see. I've actually got several fish sitting around here. And yeah, I will admit, there are probably more optimum ways to do this. And when I say I know what I'm doing, it's not that I am the absolute authority on Forager. It's just like, trust me, guys. I mostly know what I'm doing. And if there's a better way of doing this, then what? Oh no, I need a lot more than I have. They changed the values. I think it used to only require like 2 iron and gold for steel. I'd have to check my older series, but I want to say steel used to be a fair bit cheaper. And then it got expensive. Let's see. So that's a good point. What is the end goal of this challenge? There honestly isn't one, mainly because there's no end goal on Forager, in general. So, like, no matter what I do, like, I'm gonna hit the end and just be like, well, I guess I'm here. And then that's gonna be the end of it. That's just an unfortunate side effect of this game being partially unfinished. I would like to give, like, a more definitive answer on what a good goal point is. Honestly, max level, like getting to max level with only one island is an achievement in and of itself. Let's see. So honestly, that's probably going to be the answer. The other most ridiculous answer is making the island grow to the point where the entire world is covered entirely with landfills. Like, max level, and then fill in the world anyway. Then I buy the world. Like, that could work. You know, we just go super roundabout, and it's like, I mean, it's one island, I already had it there, but I don't know. I do kind of wish, I hope he somehow retools how the islands are handled in this game. And I'm not sure how. I think it's just because, like, I feel like Raft almost does what this game does better in some ways, but maybe not. Okay, we need four more golden bars. So what happens to water platforms if you buy an island on top of them? They just disappear. I think... Whoops, gotta watch out for that. I think they just disappear. I could be wrong. If they don't disappear, you get all the resources back. It's one or the other. It's been a while. But yeah, it destroys... I believe it destroys every structure that you had there as well. I don't think you buy land underneath things. I think they straight up just go away. Yeah, they do break. I've never bothered because, you know, I know enough not to. But I've never bothered, so I don't actually have a good say. I need more coal. Let's see, did we get more? Still haven't got more fish. They're adding weather to this game. I realize that that's like a complete non sequitur, but it's kind of exciting. They demoed it with turnips or beets or whatever, which I think is kind of cute. Okay, there's some coal. Yeah, so in response to the whether or not I need the mining rods, yeah, I'm keeping pace with the resource spawning to some degree, but it is just kind of a pain otherwise. Okay, so what do I need for the mining rod? 2 steel. Oh, I need more bricks. Okay. Well, we're almost good. And multiplayer would be cool in this game. It will be cool in this game. They already said they're gonna add it. I'm hoping... I know Hop Frog is a solo... Well, not a solo dev, but this is his first project, I think, that he's ever, like, really gotten far with. So I don't know what his chops are for multiplayer, which is, like, a little bit worrying, because I was playing Astroneer, and the netcode on that game was atrocious. Worryingly so. It got better. I think they've recently improved it, and I wouldn't mind going back to check it out. But, playing Astroneer multiplayer was both really, really fun and really disappointing. And I'm hoping that if they do add multiplayer to this, it will actually be able to keep up with the actual, you know, demand of the game or whatever. In reality, what I honestly want is 2 mining rods. Do I just go with the 2 mining rods right off the bat? Because I can do 1. I'll just do 1 to start with. I think most of these things are within range. I guess I could have moved it over a little bit more. This is a dumb-shaped island to begin with. I guess I'll just bust this one up as soon as I have enough for the second. Because it's better to be in the center. What do I need for the second one? Probably just 2 and 9? Yeah, 2 and 9. Well, now we just sit back for a bit. I mean, I guess what I could do, what I should do, is start busting up as many furnaces as I can. Let's see. How many can I make? 5 bricks. That is not enough. Okay. Do you get EXP for the rods destroying things? Yep. 2. It's not much. It is a very, very slow process right now. Like, this is not a fast challenge. It actually progresses... Surprisingly, it progresses about as fast as a normal run. Maybe a little bit slower. It's just the limitations... It's like initially, especially, you're progressing the same speed. Go figure. Half the time, I don't even buy my 3rd island until I'm like an hour in. Okay, so what do we want to do? More bricks? I mean, yeah, that's pretty much my option. I'm gonna stop spending wood on coal if I can avoid it. Okay, so let's just build furnaces. And let's start busting up furnaces. It is gonna take some time. I prefer the early game to the late game. I think it's because in the early game, your resources matter. You're not just, like, floating around, just, like, vacuuming up an infinite amount of resources left and right. And so there's a very distinct feeling of process that this game loses as you go along. This game doesn't do the RimWorld thing, the Factorio thing, where you need to get, like, progressively more complicated resource chains as you go along. This game does the... You just start exploiting things at max capacity after a certain point. And while it gets easier to gather items, it doesn't actually feel more impactful when you do so. Okay, so let's level up. I'll just let things go. So we've got a couple of options here. We need the markets, but we don't need them that soon. I could go for jewelry, but it would be meaningless for me. We don't need power plants anytime soon. Engineering isn't actually a terrible idea, but not soon. I could go for lighthouses and storage. Or we could go foraging for mining. Let's go foraging. It'll give me more stuff, and we need gathering for the extra inventory space. Did you ever send that email to Hopfrog? Not yet. I'm still kind of collecting ideas. And also, I'm, like, mildly afraid that it's too late, because I'm surprisingly shy. I talk shop a lot, but I don't actually believe in myself. Like, I feel like my opinions are only, like, half valid. Is that enough? I want to get another fish trap down. Okay, industrial furnace. I really wish the cosmetic gear carried over from run to run. That'd be nice. But yeah, we're gonna head for quarries, mainly because near quarries is where you get the free coal from every rock thing, which will offset a lot of my issues. And then after that, we go for lighthouses, and then the fun begins. Okay. Let's just pop those open. I guess those are out of range. Weird. They look like the circle's covering them, but I guess not. Let's see. So, go for wood cutting. I'd go for the shovel, but we're not going to need the shovel for a little while, whereas we desperately need not so much quarries. Oh, we kind of need quarries. Let's see. I don't actually have that much. So I got 9 bricks. Do not have enough iron. Well, that's okay. I mean, honestly, I have the most important thing. The mining rod to work while I just farm levels. Eventually we'll have enough stone that I can build more of these in one go. Unfortunately, no matter how many of these I build, I'm still gonna have to, like, spend most of my time in stamina unmining them, so it actually... If I could hotkey furnaces, I'd build one, break it, just over and over and over again instead of building a bunch. It is satisfying to get more, but still. So what are lighthouses for? So lighthouses are actually the reason why I didn't put up my original test run of this, because lighthouses are stupid broken. They increase all resources gained by 50%. And apparently, I think it's multiplicative. Now, obviously, I don't have them yet, mainly because they have a fair resource cost. And getting over to them is kind of rough. They're worth it. They're 100% worth it, but I figured I'd get quarries first before I head that direction. And yeah, these are just outside of range. I was just gonna leave them until I get the next mining rod. Because effectively, next mining rod we afford, I'm gonna put... Oh no! I made a mistake. Oh, it's okay. We'll get fairies at some point. As long as I don't make 2 more mistakes like that. I don't... Last time I played this, I was so flush for food, like, who cared? Food, stamina, and health. It's fine. Ugh. I think that's gonna bother you guys more than it bothers me.